House Oversight Committee says it will seek to hold former President Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress for failing to show up today for a deposition in his Jeffrey Epstein probe. Committee Chair Representative James Comer subpoenaed Bill and Hillary Clinton last year to answer questions related to the former president's relationship with Epstein.
The first set of Epstein files released by the Department of Justice last month included several pictures of Bill Clinton. The former president has maintained he was unaware of Epstein's crimes and has denied any wrongdoing. NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us now. Ryan, the Clintons wrote a letter to that committee. What did it say, and how is Comer responding?
Well, their response to the committee's request is that they simply don't have anything to offer the committee, and therefore they shouldn't have to sit before them and answer their questions as it relates to the Epstein files. And they also point back to several other former Justice Department and administration officials that have been called to testify before the committee, but the committee has accepted a letter from them saying that they have nothing to offer and has moved on. But with the Clintons, they are forcing them to come forward. And the House Oversight Chairman James Comer responded to the Clinton's response by saying they have additional questions for Bill and Hillary Clinton, and that's why they believe they should appear before the committee. Listen to what Comer had to say.
He visited the White House. Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. I've been in Congress 9 years. I think I've been to the White House 9 times in 9 years. No one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton. Not a single Democrat showed up today.
And you see Comer saying there that he actually has no evidence that Bill Clinton did anything wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he couldn't provide information that could perhaps connect the dots as part of a larger investigation into the Epstein controversy. At this point, though, the Clintons have no plans to appear.
Give us context, though, Ryan. I mean, how unusual is it for Congress to formally subpoena a former president to testify?
It's extremely rare, but it is not unprecedented. You'll remember that the current president, Donald Trump, while he was a former president, was subpoenaed by the January 6th Select Committee right towards the end of their investigation. But Trump ignored that request and never appeared. In the past, House committees have subpoenaed active presidents. Richard Nixon was actually subpoenaed to appear before a House committee. So it is not without precedent, although no former president has ever appeared before a committee like this. And it doesn't appear as though the Clintons are going to break that streak anytime soon.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.